easy to figure out. And me personally, I tell people that as well, I haven't read the manual for the X32. I just happened to be at a trade show one fine day to demo this. You just have to figure it out. It took about 15 minutes, get the routing in place, to get your basic mix set right. And it's a breeze to work on, and I'll show you why and how. So to start with, to illustrate as if you had a real band, what I have is a multi-track session here on the computer, and I'm connecting this via USB on the interface. So I have 15 tracks coming into the mixer, assigned as kick, snare, hi-hat. So 9 mics or 9 inputs for the drum kit itself. You have a bass, keyboard, all of that. So it's like a live band that you're going to be mixing. So they can see that. Yeah, the wonderful colors. So you can see all of the LEDs light up, 15 tracks coming in. So I'm not going to be playing any audio because you won't hear unless I need to show you something. So a quick run through of how you would go about. You start up with the console. You set your routing first. You decide whether you want to use the local mic preamps. In this case, I'll set the routing to card because I'm using my laptop, I'm using the inputs coming from the USB card. You can have your input set to AES50 if you're using a stage box, or you can use one stage box and your local mic preamps. Something that a lot of people ask, which I was asked about earlier, is if I'm using a stage box which is on the stage, can I also use the mic pre's on the mixer? What you can do, well, the answer is yes and no. So if you assign 1 to 16 for the stage box, 1 to 16 is completely substituted by the stage box. But what you can do is use channel 17 or 19 or 24, whatever your favorite number is from 17 to 32, and assign that to channel 1. So when you look at channel 1 to 16 on your mixer, channel 1 physically will be controlling channel 17, where you plugged in a mic or whatever it is you want to plug in on the mixer, and the rest of it will be controlled with the S16. So that takes care of your routing. You set your inputs, you choose your outputs, where you want to, you have 16 analog outputs. You can choose what you want to send there. Very straightforward. You can pick direct outs from your channels, your buses, whatever you like. It's pretty standard, but it's very easy to do. So coming on to your input section that we discussed in the presentation, you have your 4 banks of the 16 faders, 1 to 16, 17 to 32. That's your effect, return, your aux in, and the 4th layer which shows you all of the buses, which you see here as well. So these 2 are up, and the same 2 are up. On the processing and the channel strip, you pick a channel. This is how easy it gets. I'm going to hit home. I pick a channel, and on the home screen it shows me what input I have, shows me the gain, shows me whether or not I'm using any processing, and if so, what processing I have. Unfortunately, I haven't set up an EQ. Oh, there's a low-cut filter that you see as well. It shows you the dynamics. The red that you see is the signal compression that's happening. You see a clear snapshot of your bus assignments. So you pick a track and you see which buses it's getting sent to. So at the moment I have vocals getting sent to buses 13 and 15, which I have effect processors on, which I'll get to later. So it's pretty straightforward. Anything you want to see, you hit view, and you see whatever you hit view for. So that's the equalizer you see. That turns it on, that turns it off. You want to see your noise gate, you hit view, shows up there, that's on, off. Likewise, anything that you want to see, even if it's your scenes or assignable buttons, you hit view, it shows up there. You don't know where you are, what you're doing, just hit select, whichever channel you want, hit home, and that's your home screen again. So it's very simple in terms of the layout. It can't get any more intuitive or easier than this on a completely digital console. So that is your channel strip. You also have the bus sends on the channel strip. So that's 4 layers of 4 buses, which gives you 16 buses. Shows you right here what my bus assignments are. So what you can do, assuming you want to send one channel to bus 1, you pick 1 to 4, turn it up, it's sending to bus 1. You want to send it to bus 9, you pick 9 to 12, so it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 4 layers. You turn it up, you're sending it to bus 9. But for me personally, it's a little cumbersome, it's difficult to do that. You don't realize what you're sending where, and controlling it becomes a problem. So we have the sends on fader. So you use your faders to send whatever you want to the buses. Let me show you how that's done. So, sends on fader, the moment I have that on, I pick a bus, say bus 1, and I can send whatever I want to bus 1. So those are my 9 drum tracks. The same color that you see on the screen, they're all drum tracks. So all of these are now going into bus 1. You can see the level over there. You can see the level off. So that's my mix going into bus 1. So someone on the stage says, I want a little bit of the guitar. Turn that up, and that gives him the guitar into that bus. Very easy to use, and that's bus 2. There's nothing going in there. Set up a completely independent mix using your faders. Send whatever you want there. You see signal coming into bus 2. You can have whatever inserts, whatever effects you want on the buses. So if you want to have one compression bus, say, some people like to do something like a compression bus for just your low end. So what I would do is pick a bus, send my kick drum, send my bass guitar, maybe you can send your toms if you have to, and then add compression onto this. So all you're doing is compressing only the low end, only the bass. So you can be as creative as you like, do it however you like. You have 16 buses. It's very easy to send all of your tracks, independent mixes to each of the buses. Another way to do this is, instead of picking a bus, I pick a channel. Let's say I pick vocals. The guitarist needs to hear what the vocalist is doing. So if bus 5 is the monitor for the guitarist, I've selected my vocal track and I assign it to bus 5. So this track is getting sent to bus 5. Sorry, I don't have a sensor fader on. So this track gets sent to whichever bus I pick, right? So that's as straightforward as it gets. You pick a track and you're going to be sending it to whichever bus you want, or you pick a bus and just craft out a mix going to the independent bus. So that's your sends on fader. If you want to try it out, we can try it out later. If you have any questions, just grab me wherever I am. Don't grab me, but call me and I'll come to you. So you have buses 1 to 8, 9 to 16. You have your 6 matrix mixes, so you can send different buses into 6 matrix mixes if you want different zone outs. You might need that if you're at a broadcast station or a production house, or wherever it is that you need to have different zone outs from different buses. It's a very handy feature to have on the same mixer, because a lot of people, they would use a separate mixer altogether to control that. And then you have your center channel and your master, which takes care of your left, right. You can also use the master if you want, if you're just demoing it, if you're a dealer, you're just trying to demo this to someone, you want to connect your monitors, you can use the master to control your monitors. It's all very easily doable. You just hit view in your monitors, and there's a little option there that says use master fader. So it's simple things like these, which are very easy to do, and you never know when you need them until you need them. So that takes care of your output section. We spoke about the mute groups. Actually, on the output section, I haven't mentioned the DCAs yet. So let me show you how that is assigned. I'll play some audio. So that's all of my tracks played. I'm going to assign DCA 1 to all of the drum tracks. So you'll see how that's done. I press select on the DCA and then press select on the drum tracks. So that's my DCA set for the drums. And that kills the drums. Likewise, you can have DCAs for your vocals, your backup vocals, your string section, your whatever you like, your percussion section. It's very handy to use, so you have 8 DCAs very easily assignable. In the same manner, you can set up your mute groups. So you get into mute groups on the screen. There's a button called mute groups. You pick a group. In this case, all those select buttons that are lit up are the select buttons for that mute group, which again, they're the drums. So I'll show you how that would work. For the same mix. That kills all of the drums. Likewise, I can set up 6 mute groups. Let me show to you how it's done. Mute group. I'll pick 2. 2 takes care of the vocals, but I can add on anything. So that's mute group 2. All of those channels get assigned to it. So I have 6 different mute groups. I can assign them at the start of the show or any time and use them when I feel like. It's a handy feature again to have at your fingertips. It saves you the hassle of muting all of these individual ones and saves you the risk. It's a little prone to error when you're in a hurry, it's a little dark at the console, you don't know what's happening. If you go and mute the wrong channel, that can get messed up. So that makes life easier. It gives you room to plan whatever you need to do at a show. You can have different sections of an event or whatever, assign a mute group to a different section or a different stage or however you're using the console. That's the mute groups. We'll talk quickly about the effects section, and again I'll show you how I would use it, what I meant by the tap delay. So what I have now is button 7. The console happens to be programmed that way, but you can hit view, it shows you what everything is doing, and you can reassign everything. You can reassign the knobs and the buttons to whatever you like. You can reassign them to decay, to time, to chorus speed, to room size, to different parameters of all the effects. So that's the mix I have. Press select on the vocal channel. It's sending to bus 13 and 15. So bus 15 happens to be the delay. So you're going to hear the drum DC at this time. So you see, channel 15 is assigned to 2 of the buses. You can also see that here on Sends and Fader, buses 9 to 16, it's assigned to these 2 buses. So this bus here controls the delay. There's a break in the vocals, so I'm going to rewind the track. Gray skies show every morning. I'm around all this long day. Blue moon grows every evening. Since my sweet baby walked away, I was lost in a heart. So So I'm just going to undo all the drums just a moment.
With no way to escape, just one rhyme, just one reason to feel this way. Ain't that just like love?
That's the delay I've set with the tap delay. I'm changing it now.
Ain't that just like love?
You can have it on the beat. You would never do that on any of the percussion, but just to demonstrate that, I'll do it on one track, which is the snare drum track. So I've picked bus 15. I'm going to send the snare drum to bus 15. That shows you the delay. So that goes on the beat. If you need an off beat. So it depends. Sometimes you have a singer where you would have a tail end of a verse. You need that sort of a delay on the beat. You can do that. You can never ever achieve that sort of a delay using an encoder or a knob. You don't know if it's 1 second or 900 milliseconds, it's always approximate. So a tap delay at your fingertips lets you do that live at a show. It's very easy. The console comes pre-programmed with these effects, but you can place them however you like. You can use them for different parameters. A very handy feature to have. Just for demo purpose, I'm going to play the guitar through the chorus and show you what I mean again. Controlling my chorus real time. So that's obviously sounding funny because it's set to the highest speed. So as you know, the rule for the effect is if you hear it, it's too much. But you can set it right just the way you want it. Use it as and when you like at a show. So coming to your screen now, as I said, wherever you are, pick a channel, hit home, it takes you home. Shows you everything you need to know. It shows you your gate, your compression, your dynamics, your gains, and your bus sends. At the push of a button, you see all of the meters. Shows you all the input levels. Shows you where you have gain reduction happening with your compressors. You see all of your fader levels for all of the channels, 1 to 16 and 17 to 32. You have your routing screen right below that. That's the first thing you want to do when you plug in the console. Actually, the first thing is to upgrade the firmware. You want to use the latest firmware at all times. And then you get into the routing. You pick what inputs you want to use, you pick what outputs you want to use, which outputs get assigned to the 16 analog outs. You choose what you want to send to the P16, which can be anywhere with the Cat5 cable. You can send direct outs, you can send buses, however you like. Likewise, you can pick what goes into your aux channels and your AES50 outputs, which is for your stage box or any other AES50 compatible input-output box. You have the setup, which takes care of your configuration, your sample rates. You can use it to link it up to your network. I'll show you that as well. The console, it's completely controllable with a PC app and an iPad. The iPad you can use for all of your faders, your bus controls, your bus faders, your sends to the fader, just the way I showed you sends on fader. You can control all of that on the iPad. On the PC, you can control everything about the console. What you can do, sit at home before a show, you have a 16-piece band, or 5-piece band with say 16 mics or something like that, a fancy drum kit, percussionist. You can sit at home and configure all of your scribble strips. You can configure your